All right, we're back together for Proverbs. We dropped off at excuse me, chapter 14 of Proverbs. We're rocketing through 12 and 13. Remember that in 13, we're still going to keep hearing that thing about the fear of the Lord is going to keep comes back pretty much in every chapter that we've done so far. Remember the last one has focused on the power of the mouth, the power of the words, the power of being able to speak, and our speaks hurt, damage, discourage, stop, halt, corrupt, break. Words have that super power. Remember Jesus in talking about it, he says, there's way more power than we give notice to the tiniest member. That's the tongue. So we were talking about that last time. To guard the mouth was the Proverbs about guarding what we talk about, what we say. That I was speaking with somebody a little while ago who was saying, I don't know how to do that. And the reason why is because they have a very thin barrier between their brain and their mouth. It's like, maybe even a screen, no filter, just. So the only way to do that is to just slow down. But there's another step, and that is I can slow down what goes on between my mouth and my brain. But instead of just slowing down, like I don't know, Steve's talking, and I'm thinking this thing I'm going to say, and I'm just waiting for him to stop talking so I can say it. So I'm missing that other step. And the other step is while I've slowed myself down and I'm not saying it, I'm thinking about what I'm about to say. And thinking about what I'm about to say, I realize I shouldn't say it at all. I need to change what I'm saying. And it may lead me to a place where I start to wonder why I thought that I should say that in the first place. Why was that a good idea? Because when I think about it now, it really wasn't. I'm so glad I didn't say it. That's the process that everyone needs to get into. That's a very proverbial process to not saying that the people that are, good Christian people don't have these impulses to, open mouth, insert leg. That's not it. We all do. It's the saying that the Christian person is in their reflection will stop that from happening. We'll put this filter in between that says, I know the damage I can cause. I know the harm that can come from this, or just the faithlessness in my words. So I'm going to stop and not say them. And the next step is I'm going to go inside and figure out why. Where did that come from? And chances are it's from the other guy. Remember the road to hell is paved with, well, it's not. According to C.S. Lewis, it's that gentle slope, no hindrances, no footfalls, nice soft grass, gently all the way down to hell. Not a big giant fall. People walk down to hell on that gentle slope, don't even know they're going there. So we ascribe too little to the influence of demonic powers in our life. We should give Satan more credit. Jesus gave him a lot of credit. We should go ahead and give him more credit when we have these events in our life. Instead of just passing them over as indigestion, like Ebenezer, right? We should actually look at them and say, okay, this is I think I'm under attack here. I think this is a bad thing, and I think I need to pray. I think I need to go to God about it because this is what's happening. Takes us into another place. All that came from Proverbs, right? Right. From watching your mouth. Be honest. Don't be prideful. Remember the last chapter was love discipline. Love discipline and be disciplined in your life. All right, so brings us up to chapter 14. Who would like to read? Let's just go all the way through 1 through 14. Who would like to do that?
I will start.
Go. You go.
Second? All right. Wisdom builds her house, but folly tears her down with her own hands. He who walks uprightly fears the Lord, but he who is devious in his ways spurns him. In the mouth of the fool is a rod for his back, but the lips of the wise preserve them. Where there are no oxen, the crib remains empty, but large crops come through the strength of the bull. A truthful witness does not lie, but a false witness utters lies. The senseless man seeks in vain for wisdom, but knowledge is easy to the man of intelligence.
Oh.
To avoid the foolish man takes steps, but knowing lips one meets with by surprise. The shrewd man's wisdom gives him knowledge of his way, but the folly of fools is in their deception. Guilt lodges in the tents of the arrogant, but favor in the house of the just. The heart knows its own bitterness, and in its joy no one else shares. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will be flourished. Sometimes a way seems right to a man, but the end of it leads to death. Even in laughter, the heart may be sad, and the end of joy may be sorrow. The scoundrel who suffers the consequences of his ways, the scoundrel suffers the consequences of his ways, and the good man reaps the fruit of his paths.
Cool. All right, who wants to start us off? I liked it in the second verse there, we got right back into the fear. Excuse me. He who walks and is upright fears the Lord, but he whose ways are devious despises him. So that in despising and hating people is not fearing at all. Certainly not in awe of something, right?
I'm sorry, I started talking. I was on mute.
Oh,
But
no, yeah, go ahead.
the verse 12 is sort of a recurring theme through a bunch of the books of the Bible, and it bothers me. It's always bothered me. That there is a way that seems right to a man, but the end is, but its end is the way of death.
Yes.
And when you say there is the way that seems right to a man, you can't. If you go through life saying this seems right, but maybe it's wrong, then you'll be paralyzed. You won't do anything.
Yeah.
So the only thing you can do is what seems right to you at the time. And if it turns out badly, then you did what you thought was right.
Yeah, and I completely agree. In fact, that's exactly what it says, right? That this way seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. So I tried my very best, and then it turned out badly, and that's the end. So, but the writer here is not. We're not taking into account the presence of God. The reality that God is there with us. God's calling. Susan and I were just talking, what led us to the discussion of acedia. How do I know when God's calling me? How do I know when God wants me to do something? And the answer to that is oftentimes because what you're being called to do is not something you necessarily want to do or something that's easy. And so when we are, it's easy to avoid God's call, because it's not something we want to do. We want to do something else. I don't want to do that. I want to go somewhere else and do something else. So I don't answer that call. But that's what I think is right for me. I think what it's right for me is to go to lunch and not help out that guy over there. That's the hard thing. I've already got a plan. So it's the Proverbs here just building on what's come before it. And what's come before this is the witness of God within the context of Scripture, who calls on people to do things that are hard and that they don't want to do, and that if somebody else went up to them and said do this, they wouldn't do it because it's not right. They're like, bah, I'm not going to do that. So it's not just about what one man or one woman thinks is right and does it. It's about what one person of faith does in reflecting on God's presence and purpose and intention for their life. And
Well,
recognizing again, historically, that when God interacts with us, God usually calls us to do tough stuff, not easy stuff.
well, maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, but like people will. Well, let's take welfare or helping the poor as an example. A lot of times people will say that you shouldn't be giving so much to the poor because that takes away their ability to earn what they have. And that's never seemed right to me.
Well,
And
that's only if you can employ them for more money. Right?
what do you mean?
I mean, you're talking about, giving people money. Well, you could employ them. If you can't employ them, then you're going to walk away. When I was in school, this idea was somebody thinks, oh, no, I can do this. This is right. And they're not following the rules. They're doing something that isn't right, but they've convinced themselves that it'll be okay for them.
Right.
And then, well, it wasn't. But there's nothing in the text that says that.
Right.
That's when, when they.
Yeah, but the thing that bothers me about this is it seems to say that you can do what you think is right and still and still have it end badly.
Yes.
So,
Huge.
so
I mean, this is
but all you can do is what you think is right. Whether it's going to end badly or not, you don't know. But
if
you
you
can't
don't have any access to any other source that can help you make that decision. If you're the only person in the world, you can make that, you're on your own and you can, decide to build a building without stringers and it'll fall on your head. But if you're in a place with another guy with you and he's an engineer and you try to build a building and he says, don't put stringers up there. And you say, no, this is right for me. Then you're going to get the building falling on your head. This isn't just about us living in a vacuum. This is about us living in the context of community. So the person who does things that's right for them is somebody who stands alone, like Carolee is saying, and saying, this is right for me. And I'm the master of my own ship and I'm the captain of my own life and I'm going to do what I want to do because it's right for me.
Well, if you give me advice and I say that doesn't seem right and I ignore your advice and it ends badly.
Yeah.
I still have acted the way that seems right to me. That seems right. It's not about rationalization. It's about
It's about that you tried, right? It's about that you tried, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But maybe the death, maybe the ending in bad and the ending in death is what path that you needed to be on in order to learn the lesson to do something different, in order for God to guide you in a different way. So you thought it was right, it ended not right. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be judged badly for that. It means that it didn't end right, and now you need to learn that lesson and do the other thing. So I don't see it as being like the damnation. There are different ways you can interpret it. You can interpret it that, yeah, that person, is having damnation, or you can interpret it as that was a lesson and now don't do that again.
I think what Steve's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, you're really saying that this is the only way you can do it. The only way anybody can do it and live their life at all is to do what they think is right.
Right.
And then if it ends badly, it ends badly.
And if an engineer is telling me telling me what to do, and I don't really understand it, then I do need to follow his advice. But if he tells me something that I think that's logically not right, then I'm going to get in trouble by changing what I think is right to his way of thinking.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what this is saying. It's saying that that if you are going to build this building and the engineer says something you don't understand, so you don't think it's right, and you build it the way you want, then you're going to die. So the proof is in the pudding. It's saying that there's an option, there's another source of information and guidance, and we either access that guidance in that direction and give up our own, I think this is right, and follow this other direction, the engineer, the expert. I don't understand it. I don't think it's right, but he's an engineer and I'm not. So unless the guy's crazy and just wants me to die, then he's telling me the right thing, even though I don't think it's right. There's a level of trust in this that I have to have. So this proverb is telling the people, you have to, when overcome this desire to do it your way. You have to overcome that self-reliance, because you're not alone. You're in a community. And the head of that community is God. God's calling you and saying, I want you to do it this way. And we know all the time that one of the things that goes on in the church all the way up to the time of Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and Sadducees and saying, this is what God wants you to do. And they're saying, I don't think so. I don't think that's right. I think what's right is that, I stay in power as the high priest or the Pharisee, and you can't be the Messiah, because if you're the Messiah, then I can't be in power. So I don't think that's right. So what Jesus is saying is, then Jesus says to him, you are not listening. You are not listening to the whole purpose of your process is to listen to God, to help guide you and direct you, because you're not alone. You're in community, and you're not doing it. So this proverb is saying this is what happens when you don't do it. You can do it. You're absolutely right. You can do it. If you're alone, then you have to do it. There's no way out around that. You're on a desert island, Gilligan without the crew. Well, you have to do what's right. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, you learn from it, hopefully. But this is not about being alone. This is about being in community. And still, even though we're in community, I am not paying attention to the expert, which is God, to help me. I'm just saying, okay, thanks for sharing, and then going about my own business. So I think you're exactly right. I completely agree with you. The only thing that we can do in our life is do what we think is right. And if it falls apart, it falls apart. But if we have God in our life, then we're not alone to make the determination of what is right or not or wrong. We can turn to God, and God will help us with that determination. Then if we trust in God and believe in God, and God tells us something that we don't think is right, we have to overcome that sensation to rely upon ourselves and give it back to God. Say, okay, I don't think this is right, but I'll do it because you're God. So it's not about being alone. This isn't about being alone. This is all about being in community. It's a great question. It's a great observation.
I still have to think about this some more.
Yeah, just do it with the with that one codicil. That this is not talking about an individual, it's talking about an individual in community. And the community of that individual is God. My partnership with God. So, yeah. All right, that was fantastic. Who else? What else?
Mhm. How about number 4? Where there are no oxen, the crib remains empty, but large crops come through the strength of the bull.
Oxen. Manger is empty.
I'm not sure that I understand what that one is.
Which one?
Number 4. Where there
So the
14.4.
oxen
Oh.
are used, the oxen are
It's
used,
investing in the correct equipment, honey. If you don't have an ox, you're gonna have trouble feeding the cattle. If you spend all your money on a good stout ox, you'll be doing fine. Buy the better tractor.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. That's exactly. I think Carolee said it.
Obviously,
So
your forebears weren't farmers.
Obviously.
So is this a proverb about being responsible, right? So I have a responsibility to my family, to myself, to those who I love, those who I'm with. But if I don't take on my responsibility and provide in the correct way, I don't get an oxen. I'm not going to have anything. And if I don't have anything, then things are going to get really bad, right? If from the strength of an ox comes an abundant harvest. So, I think it's a really wonderful agrarian imagery, but of course, it's a metaphor. It's going beyond itself for the care of our own life, for the care, in every way, the care of our life for ourselves.
does your interpretation say use the word ox twice? Because mine says ox and then it says bull.
Pull this out.
Mine says
And
Which version do you?
the difference to me is
Yeah.
that the ox is the neutered male. So the ox would pull the tools in the field, right? The plow or whatever they're using. So if you don't have oxen to do the work, the crib remains empty, the crib where the grain would be held, right?
Right.
So you need those people working. But large crops come through the strength of the bull. The bull is the one that could mate and produce offspring. So larger crops would come through the strength of the bull because that produces more, basically, oxen, bull or whatever, right? Is that how you see it?
Well, my version uses as oxen and ox.
Okay.
So
Yeah, mine have both.
but it doesn't make sense to me anyway. So
Yeah, this is not going to help. Let me see.
That's interesting.
I like that. I understand that interpretation is, again, very agrarian. I like that a lot. Let's see if I can find that.
It makes sense to me that the unsexy things are worth the investment. They'll pay you want to shortcut that, but yeah, no, you can't.
Let's see.
Can I read my study Bible notes on that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, need light. When farmers have no oxen for plowing, the food troughs for their animals will be clean, but the farmers will be unable to make a living. The only way to keep your life free of people problems is to keep it free of other people. But if your life is empty of people, it is useless. And if you live only for yourself, your life loses its meaning. Instead of avoiding people, we should serve others, share our faith, and work for justice. Is your life clean but empty, or does it give evidence of your serving God wholeheartedly?
Huh. Responsibility, right?
Yeah.
If I'm responsible for what I am, for what I'm doing, it's going to be more than taking care of myself. It's going to be taking care of others, being beyond myself. Let's see. What was this? I can't find this.
Mine says, perhaps the thought is that men need to take good care of their oxen, which is a means of production, if they expect an abundant harvest.
Yeah. Now, very agrarian. Now we're down to the no longer a metaphor at all. It's just a 1-for-1 right there.
This guy's really not doing anything.
All right, let's see.
His ox is just for looks.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I'll try one more
Well,
place.
from abundance, if you have abundance, you can do a lot of good with abundance.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so it's let's see. Let's see. This is
Where we read?
We're still in 4.
Yep.
Yeah, we're.
yeah. This commentary says it really does both of them. Looks like what's your translation, Jay?
NIV.
And then you have an NIV study Bible, or is it a different one?
Yes.
Is it just a NIV study Bible, or is it like a life application Bible or something else?
NIV study Bible.
Study Bible. And what do you have, Sharon?
Oh, mine's a study Bible for sure. NLT.
Oh, New Living Translation. Okay. So it looks like I think what we have there, at least according to this, what I'm seeing here is the NLT picked one half and the other, and NIV picked the other. Because the commentary here is saying both of them. It starts off with what Jay said. Take care of your ox. you can't have a good harvest without a good rock, without a good taking good care of your animals. And then it goes on to saying, second, hard work pays dividends. No one should expect to realize a profit without earning it. An honest day's work for an honest day's pay is a worthy principle. Trying to feed and clean an ox is difficult, but nowhere near as difficult as trying to farm without them. So it goes back to the responsibility for doing what I have to do. I have to take care of myself, take care of my machinery in order to take care of the family or whatever else I'm working with. So I think it's both and then. How's that? That's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Let's not bicker over it. Okay, what's another one? The mocker. 6, the mocker seeks wisdom and finds none, but knowledge comes easily to the discerning. Fools mock and making amends for sin. This is 9. But goodwill is found among the upright. Oh, and a 10. I don't know what yours says. Mine is each heart knows its own bitterness, but no one else can share its joy.
Mine refers to the experience of Hannah.
Of what?
Hannah. Remember Hannah praying?
Yeah.
Was bitter.
Yeah. Yep. Remember that when we read these, like I'm like 11, that mine says the house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. That Solomon is putting, the emphasis here. So you have the wicked is rich, the wicked has wherewithal, means, the wicked has resources, built themselves a nice place to live. They're all protected from the elements, but yet they're going to be destroyed. And you have the righteous person, the upright person, who's living in a tent, not much going for him. No little bit of protection, not a lot of money, obviously not, the rich person like the wicked person. And what Solomon's doing here again is putting it within the context. We all talk about if everything was justice, and the wicked people would get nothing and the righteous people would get everything. But it's the other way around. The bad people get everything and the righteous people don't get as much. So this is another one of Solomon's examples to say that the tent or the focus of this verse is not on the tent or the mansion. The focus of the verse is on the wicked or the righteous, where the tent and the mansion aren't worth anything. It's the other part of the verse that counts. The upright, being upright or being wicked, that's what counts. Well, the rest of it's just window dressing. All right, who wants to keep going? 15. Let's go 15 to 28. Through 28. Stop at 29.
I'll go. A simple man believes anything, but a prudent man gives thoughts to his steps. A wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. A quick-tempered man does foolish things, and a crafty man is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Evil men will bow down in the presence of the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor are shunned even by their neighbors, but the rich have many friends. He who despises his neighbors sins, but blessed is he who is kind to the needy. Do not those who plot evil go astray, but those who plan what is good find love and faithfulness. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty. The wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools yields folly. A truthful witness saves lives, but a false witness is deceitful. He who fears the Lord has a secure fortress, and for his children it will be a refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, turning a man from the snares of death. A large population is a king's glory, but without subjects a prince is ruined. You said 28?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have quite, I think at least three in there that talk about the fear again. So back again, the advantages of the fear of the Lord. And wise man fears the Lord. That's 16. And shuns evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. Let's see, where's the other one?
26.
26. He who fears the Lord has a secure fortress, and for his children it will be a refuge.
And then 27.
And 27, yep. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, turning a man from the snares of death. I think the 16 kind of puts 26 and 27 into focus. The wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil. So the recompense is a secure fortress and a fountain of life.
Fortress reminds me of rock, of a rock.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great word. We don't use it very much anymore. Words that getting left out of our vernacular. 18, 19, and 20, and the 21 as a switchback. It's really talking about how to be kind and identifying the needy and those who are well, needy. People need help, and then what to do about it. We're back to that simple idea. Remember we had simple over and over again way back. I think it was in 7. And we have it again here. A simple man, the simple inherit folly. The simple man believes in anything, but the prudent man gives thought to his steps. So I mean, that's sad if it's true, right? So what does that mean? I'm not simple. So I can skip over this one, right? Because that's not me. I don't have to worry about that. I already got that one covered. But remember that this is also about wisdom when she was talking back, and she was saying, the simple need to come to me. The simple need to turn to me, and I will take care of them. I'll receive the simple in. I will guide and direct them. I will raise them up from where they are. Well, that's what the people who know what they're doing are called to do. We're called to direct the others, the people that don't know, to wisdom, to God, to the purpose, so that they are lost for themselves, but they can be found. And they need help, but they need more. They need help, but they need more help than we can give. And we may be able to help them, whatever practical reality that we can do, and that's great. Everybody needs help now and then, but the greater assistance that we can give, that we're called to, being on the other side of this, is to bring people to Christ, get them to go to God and look for that answers to their questions there. Moses, not the one in the Bible, the one in the portico. Moses is, you could say, and I'm being in a very generous and kind way, he's a simple guy. He's got really one track. It's pretty one-dimensional. And so he could use a lot of help with a lot of stuff. He could use a lot of help. I mean, there's things that he just has no idea. Stuff that you and I take for granted. He just has no concept. So being there and helping him is a wonderful thing to do for all of us, for anyone. And being there for anyone to help people like that, it's a wonderful thing to do. Moses has got the other side of it already taken care of. I mean, his reliance is on, if everybody knows who met has heard or talked to Moses knows, he is deep in his pursuit of Christ. It may be a simple pursuit, but in a lot of ways, in its simplicity, it is more pure. He doesn't have demands on God in the same way that we do. I can't say that absolutely, because he and I have had a lot of conversations where his demands are pretty extreme. They're pretty simple, but they are unrelenting. So he's got that side covered. We're called in this relationship to be the prudent man who helps the simple, the other side. So I don't get to skip over that verse. That verse is about me as well. And then back down 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, all the fear of God goes back to my relationship with God and how I make that part of my life, the fountain of life. Of large population is the king's glory, but without subjects, a prince is ruined. Oof. All right, we're done. 8:30, but we're not done yet. Let's go. Let's do 29 through 35. That's the end.
Okay, I'll read it.
You do it.
Excuse me. Gotta turn my light on. People with understanding control their anger. A hot temper shows great foolishness. A peaceful heart leads to a healthy body. Jealousy is like cancer in the bones. Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him. The wicked are crushed by disaster, but the godly have a refuge when they die. Wisdom is enshrined in an understanding heart. Wisdom is not found among fools. Godliness makes a nation great, but sin is a disgrace to any people. A king rejoices in wise servants, but is angry with those who disgrace them. So,
Righteousness is also a nation, but a sin is a disgrace to many people. Yep. See, I can see so many current applications for these
33 is a little different.
for these
well,
verses.
you know what? 31 is just plain obvious.
Yes. What happened?
It doesn't need to be dissected. There,
No.
it's a commandment,
Right.
right, to do that.
Yep. Whoever, mine says, who is it? What does yours say? Whoever.
Those who oppress the poor insult their maker, but helping the poor honors him.
Right. Honors God.
Yeah, people who oppress the poor, I mean, that's big sin.
Right.
Because we're commanded to help the poor.
So you can see we're not gonna, we're all out of time, but it's going back to verses like this and thinking about our current social and political problems, where Christians are on both sides of the fence, big time. But when you go to places like this, it kind of has to make you stop and wonder who's not reading this.
They're interpreting it differently.
Yes, but as you said, it's pretty plain, isn't it?
Well,
It is to me.
Yes, to me.
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
Yeah, doesn't take anything. This I think would I'm not trying to push us into anything. I'm just saying that this is why these are, I think Proverbs are as appropriate for us today as they were and are at any time.
What was the bishop's name? Buddy.
But
Yeah.
what about?
Oh, yeah. She could have taken her sermon directly from this.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Reminds
of
me, I've
course
got to send them money.
It's the string that runs through the thread that runs all the way through Scripture. This is not changed. This is the same. So same from the end all the way from the beginning all the way to the end. Nothing has changed. So the sad reality is as Sharon's saying, you have a line in Proverbs here that does not need to be interpreted, and yet it's being interpreted.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
What was when you were always referring to welcome the foreigner or something like that?
Yeah. Welcome.
Remember the alien. You were an alien in Egypt.
Yep. Miriam's. Yeah, that is oh gosh, I used to know that whole thing in Hebrew. I'll have to go back and review that. It's got a wonderful flow to it. That whole
Stranger in a Strange Land bit.
Yes. Oh man, oh gosh, I can do it. Oh, I can't do it. It's been too long. I would have thought about it. Go back. I know. Thanks a lot. Now I'm gonna have to go back. I spend the rest of my night going back and reading the Hebrew. Darn it. All right, guys, this is great. Thank you so much. I guys say I look forward to this. This is a really great time for me in the evening. I hope it is for you as well. So look forward to if y'all haven't been a part of the if you haven't been to the Wednesday night program with the video we're doing is Nefarious. You can catch up if you want to go on the webpage and see the two we've done before. We have two left. We're halfway through, and it's a pretty weighty thing. I mean,
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a very.
I couldn't even get through what we talked when we talked about it afterward. It shook me up. So
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's supposed to. It means it's doing its job. Well done. All right, guys. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Be at rest, and I hope and pray that you have a great day tomorrow.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
You
Have a
too.
good night.
Bye.